Have with us this morning now George Bishop, and he brought some members of his staff along. But if y'all make your way to the platform, we started something new this year. It's the first time that we have issued a Highway Safety Award, and DMV has helped us with that, and we'll be doing the presentation in just a moment. And certainly, as he calls your name, we just ask that you meet me at the front of the podium here, and then we'll get to that point here in just a moment. But George Bishop is Deputy Commissioner for Virginia DMV, and George was appointed to the position of Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Motor Vehicles in April of 2015. In this role, he serves as the Governor's Highway Safety Coordinator and oversees the operation of the DMV's Virginia Highway Safety Office. George is a graduate of the University of Virginia, where he received a BA in English in 1985. In addition, he is a graduate of the Virginia Executive Institute of NCSL Legislative Staff Management Institute. So, George, we welcome you to the platform, and thank you for being a part of this program, and we kick it off here this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for that introduction. I do want to introduce here Kimberly Burt. Kimberly is the Deputy Director for Programs in the Virginia Highway Safety Office at DMV, and she has been instrumental in helping put together the awards that we are going to present this morning. So in a few minutes, she's going to be involved with that process. But I want to welcome you and thank you for everything that you do. You probably know a bunch of the sheriffs here, and sheriffs have worked with Kimberly. She's been program manager in the Richmond region before. She also worked with nonprofits and state agencies, grant funds before that. So she had a lot of experience before she rose to the level of deputy director, and we're pleased to have her here this morning. I want to thank you guys so much for having me here and joining you at your annual conference. You know, law enforcement agencies and sheriff's offices in particular play such a vital role in the highway safety community. It's really impossible for us to talk about reducing the number of crashes, injuries, and fatalities on the roadways in Virginia without talking about what you do each and every day. And what you do, simply put, is save lives. So it's truly an honor for me to be here and to speak to you and be involved with the Sheriff's Association presentation of the 2019 Highway Safety Awards. I did ask my staff to pull together some information for me this morning about the Highway Safety's Office engagement with sheriff's offices across the Commonwealth and the award of NHTSA Highway Safety Grants. Turns out that it's quite a few. Of the grants that the Highway Safety Office awards every year, well, last year, 72 counties from Accomack and Allegheny all the way to Wise, Wythe, and York, 72 counties, sheriff's offices were awarded highway safety grants for a total of $2 million. So you guys really put that money to work each and every day, helping us prevent tragic loss of life on our highways and keeping our motoring public safe. So you encourage our motorists to slow down, obey the speed limit, to buckle up, to avoid distraction, and to never drive impaired. And these continue to be our main focuses, emphasis areas at DMV. So, for example, almost $2 million in grant funds is awarded to Virginia law enforcement agencies each year specifically for speed enforcement. And as you know, these efforts are vitally important because speed is a factor in so many of our roadway crashes. In fact, last year, 339 of the 819 total fatalities that were experienced on the roads in Virginia were speed-related. That is 41% of all of the fatalities in Virginia. But now, interestingly, speed was only a factor in 20% of the crashes. So 41% of the fatalities and 20% of the crashes. So clearly, reducing speed has a powerful impact on reducing fatalities on our roadways. Obviously, another main area of focus for us is impaired driving. drinking, drugs, distraction, and drowsiness, the 4Ds. And of the 4Ds, obviously the one that receives the most attention and the most money from DMV grants is drunk driving. In fact, more than $16.8 million in grant funds is awarded to law enforcement agencies, such as yours, nonprofits, universities, and local governments each year in an effort to prevent drunk driving and eliminate the needless tragedies that it causes. Now, many of the sheriffs and deputies in this room here today, along with your colleagues across the state, participate in checkpoints and saturation patrols on a regular basis to remove impaired drivers from our roads. For example, the recent anti-drunk driving checkpoint strike force campaign, approximately 98 grant-funded law enforcement agencies operated 120 checkpoints and 640 saturation patrols just from the dates of August 16th through September 3rd in an effort to prevent impaired driving. And this is why it's so important, because last year in Virginia, 278 people lost their lives on the highways in Virginia to alcohol-related traffic crashes. That's 278 people who never made it home that day because somebody made the poor decision to get behind the wheel of an automobile after they've been drinking. It's one-third of our fatalities. Each and every year, 1/3 of our fatalities are alcohol-related. But on the other side of that equation, I'm happy to report that you and your colleagues were able to convict 19,780 drunk drivers last year, which is a 5% increase over the year before. Now, you can look at that in two different ways. You guys are doing a better job at getting them off the roads, but also they're still out there. They're still out there in great numbers. And so while you continue to do a great job getting them off the roads, we need to continue to do our job in trying to persuade them not to get behind the wheel. And so to that end, there is one program that I wanted to talk to you briefly about that DMV is engaged in that we're very proud of, which has the potential to eliminate drunk driving in the near future, eliminate drunk driving in the near future, not just in Virginia, but across the country. It's a technology. It's a technology called the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety. How many of you guys have heard about the DADS program? This is great. I get to introduce a new crowd. It's a first-of-its-kind technology that automatically detects a driver's blood alcohol concentration when they get behind the wheel. And if it's 0.08 or greater, when they start the car and they try to engage it, it will not engage, it will not drive, it will not move. And what it does is it passively monitors the air surrounding the driver by sniffing the air. It detects the driver's breath, and then it scans the driver's breath for ethanol molecules or alcohol. And then it can determine the concentration of those ethanol molecules in the breath, and by doing so, can determine what the driver's blood alcohol level is. And it does it in a fraction of a second. And it does it without anybody having to blow into anything. And in the time it takes the driver to turn the car on, it has already sniffed the air, figured out what that driver's blood alcohol content is, and if the driver is 0.08 or over, it will not let the car drive. So this is a technology, it sounds amazing, and the current generation truly is amazing. In recognizing the potential of it, Virginia became the first state in the nation to devote highway safety traffic grant funds from NHTSA to test the DADS technology. Last year, Governor Northam, about 12 months ago, and DMV announced a partnership with a local corporation in Virginia, the James River Transportation Company. And James River Transportation agreed to put 4 of these units in 4 of their vehicles and to use them when they do their business, conduct their business on the roads in and around Richmond and Norfolk. And they've been operating on the roads now for a year, and it's provided a tremendous amount of data and real-world experience for testing the DADS technology. And eventually, this technology that's only in 4 vehicles right now in Virginia is going to be offered by the manufacturers to you and the car-buying public as a technology available on a safety package, for example, along with things like lane departure and forward brake assist and that type of thing. So this is coming. It's on the future in the near future, probably 2021. They're looking at putting it in fleet vehicles, and with the idea of 2023 being available to the public. So as you can imagine, we're very excited about being a part of that program. Now, in conjunction with your efforts to encourage sober driving, DMV and our law enforcement partners work tirelessly also to promote seatbelt use. And a little bit more than $2 million of our grant funds are awarded each year to law enforcement and others for the prevention of, for the occupant protection. And you all know about Click It or Ticket campaign, and you also know why it's so important, because annually 50% of all of the fatalities that we experience in Virginia on the highways, for those people who had the opportunity to buckle up. Now, I'm not talking about pedestrian death and bicycle and motorcycle, but 50% of all of those fatalities where the person had the ability to buckle up, 50% of those fatalities were unbelted. So it's vitally important that we do what we can to persuade people to buckle up. But if we don't, you guys are out there to do what you can do to persuade them, and that's to write them that ticket. And I realize that these folks are often your neighbors or your friends, but we also know that writing them a $25 ticket is a lot easier than making a death notification to their families. And you guys do that each and every day, and we certainly appreciate it. So as a way to support your efforts and those of law enforcement, to remind the public to write these tickets, DMV recently embarked on a new campaign that I'm happy to show you today. It's called Local Heroes. How many of you guys have heard about the Local Heroes campaign? Again, wonderful. I get to introduce you to something new. Local Heroes, it's simple. It's officers who are well-known in their communities are featured in 60-second videos that urge folks to buckle up. Now, we shot 3 of these videos this year, each one in a different Virginia county, Lee County, Wise County, and Buchanan. And the videos feature backdrops and scenery that would be familiar with anyone living out there. And while not wearing a seatbelt is a statewide issue, we have learned that the solution is often found by concentrating our efforts at the local level. Yeah, here we go. So, what I want to do is be able to show you these 3 videos and give you an idea of the Local Heroes campaign.
Car crashes can happen anywhere. My job's about the ones that happen here in Buchanan County.
I've dealt with injuries and death on this job.
From 460 to 83 to 638.
I've worked crashes on all these roads.
I've heard all the excuses.
That airbag gonna save me.
I was just driving to church.
I know how to drive.
But here's the best one. Seatbelts are for kids.
Are you the next victim of a car crash?
I wish I knew.
I know this much. This is the best protection going down the road.
Get in and buckle up every time you get in the vehicle.
Keep your loved ones alive. Make sure they're buckled up too.
Look, I know what it's like to lose somebody. I do. So if I have to write you a ticket to save your life, I'll do it.
I'll do it too.
It's your choice. Make the right one.
Seatbelts do save lives. They could save yours.
Saving your life is my job. I take it seriously.
Buckle up, Buchanan.
Click It or Ticket, a message from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles.
Crashes can happen anywhere, but I work traffic right here in Lee County.
I've seen too many lives ruined from car crashes.
From Virginia 70 to US 421.
To right here in town. You name it, I've worked a crash here.
Got a seatbelt excuse? I've heard it.
Those things get in my way.
Isn't an airbag enough?
I'm a very safe driver.
And my favorite, I forgot. What are the odds of you being in a crash? I wish I knew.
Here's a fact. Using your seatbelt is the best protection going down the road.
Get in and buckle up.
It's a law you can live with.
Before you start the car, make sure everyone in it is buckled up.
I live here. I've been to the funerals. So if I have to write a whole book of tickets to prevent even one more ruined life, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Take your life seriously. Wear a seatbelt.
Keeping you safe is my job. I take it seriously. Buckle up, Lee.
Click it or ticket. A message from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles.
I work traffic here in Wise.
Death and injury come with the job.
Crashes can happen anywhere.
From US 23 to Main Street.
I know this because
I've worked them all. I've heard every excuse there is for not wearing a seatbelt.
Seatbelts mess up my clothes.
Nothing's gonna hurt this car.
I was only going down the street. And my all-time favorite, I always wear them. I just forgot this time.
So what are your chances of being a crash victim? I have no idea. I'm not a gambler.
But I do know this. A seatbelt is your best protection.
So please, buckle up.
Day and night.
And be sure all your precious cargo is buckled in before you start that car.
This is my home too, and if I have to write one more ticket to save a life, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Count on it.
Seatbelts save lives.
The most important thing I do on this job is help people stay alive. Make the wise choice.
Click it or ticket. A message from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles.
So I hope you guys found those as effective as I did, and the people of Southwest Virginia, by the way, because I can tell you this. The average increase in seatbelt usage in those 3 counties rose 11% after they were exposed to that for 1 month. So obviously we're going to be doing it in other localities, and so many of you will get a knock on your doors asking for you or your deputies to be involved in this project. Now, I have taken up way too much of your time talking about the big 3 I like to call belts, booze, and speed, and your efforts to help us in those areas. But what I want to do now is to say thank you in a different way, and that is to award to 6 sheriff's offices the 2019 Highway Safety Awards from the Virginia Sheriff's Association. Each of our regional program managers at DMV Highway Safety Office were asked to look at production of sheriff's offices in their regions, in the areas of highway safety. And they used statistics related to enforcement efforts in occupant protection, impaired driving, and speed. And they also factored in community engagement. And they each made a nomination from their region. And I'm very happy to be here to present those awards today. When I do call your names, if you'll, I believe, come down to the front, and are they going to have a photograph? Okay, and so come down to the front, receive your award, and then there'll be a photograph. And Kim, would you like to go down and thank them for their great job? And now for the awards. From the Bristol region, Sheriff Ronnie Oakes from the Wise County Sheriff's Office. The Wise County Sheriff's Office participated in multi-agency checkpoints with border-to-border operations with great results, and they have been an aggressive promoter of highway safety and regional cooperation in Wise County, and obviously participated in our Wise County Make the Wise Choice video. So thank you very much. Oh, stay there. Okay. All right. From the Roanoke region, Sheriff Steve Hutcherson of Campbell County. The Campbell County Sheriff's Office has been an active participant in the Central Virginia Highway Traffic Safety Board, and they are a prime example of highway safety regional cooperation, and we cannot thank them enough for the work that they do. Congratulations. From the Roanoke region, Sheriff Michael Chapman, Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. I'm sorry, Fairfax region. From the Fairfax region, Sheriff Michael Chapman, Loudoun County. Loudoun County excelled in occupant protection efforts and has for years. And they are a strong participant in the collaborative highway safety efforts in Northern Virginia. And we thank you for your efforts. Thank you so much. From the Portsmouth region, Sheriff Danny Diggs, York County, Poquoson. The deputies and supervisors here are passionate about highway safety, and they have excelled in the area of impaired driving enforcement over the last few years, and we thank you so much for your service. From the Stanton region, Sheriff Brian Hutchison, Rockingham County. Well, they're not here. I think they had to leave early, but they are aggressive promoters of highway safety in the community, and they work diligently within their borders to reduce crashes, injuries, and fatalities. And then finally, from the Roanoke region, Sheriff David Hines, Hanover. What did I just say? I'm sorry. From the Richmond region, Sheriff David Hines, Hanover County. Hanover County is active, very active in the Richmond region, enforcing highway safety laws and educating their community in highway safety issues. And we thank you very much for your work to prevent crashes and fatalities in Virginia. Thank you. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me here to be a part of this conference and to be a part of the awards presentation, John. Thank you so much.